authentic, to be regular, be passionate about the work. I just feel patience is something that's not everyone's cup of tea, and for me that's the only thing that works and also works. Sometimes I'm impatient and why is success not coming to me soon? Why is it quicker for someone else? Because that's the case that has been for a lot of people now. With how content goes viral and how easily you see someone boom the next day versus someone who's been into it for the last 10 years and waiting to be viral, but then I realize I don't want to be viral, but I want to be relevant, and the long run game is what matters and patience is what matters. So, and overnight success is not sustainable, I feel.
Hi, today at Win Voices, I have Kompal Matta Kapoor joining us today, and I'm really excited to have you, Kompal. I know you're a mother, so am I. You have a daughter?
Yeah.
Okay, and that's really good. So I'm just going to kickstart something which happened last evening with me. So you know that the AI summit is going on, and I met the Deputy Prime Minister of Sweden, Erica, and we bonded because she has a 9-year-old daughter and so do I. So she said she's going to come on our Bring Voices podcast. And it was really amazing to meet her, and we were just exchanging notes. So I'm really excited that you are able to join us today. So in your own words, Kompal, tell me a bit about your journey.
If I have to really describe it in quick words, I would say it was not an easy one. Some people have had it easy in this space, but especially coming from a time when this was new. I started it long ago in maybe like 2014 roughly, part-time with my college, and this space was new. People would not really understand what it means and do you really make money out of it. And people were surprised at why am I pursuing this? Is it even legit? Does it even pay you back, or what's the long run scenario? But it did work out well. And the moment my work picked up, like I've spoken about it many times, even at the TEDx, I had informed them that the space was so new that people were not ready to accept. And when my journey started, I had moved to the US. That's when the real time, like the tough times I faced, and I realized that okay, this is not something just about being known in India. And by the time my work was picking up in India, I had to go there. I was married, and it was still so new that I could not really feel that okay, this is something that would go on for me in India. So why not just move out and see if I want to explore something else? But this went on, and it went on well. It was loved by people, even though I moved to a different country. My audience in India remained intact and they loved it, whatever I was posting, and it kept growing into better numbers. And I started posting more about my real life in the US. From being married to someone who's from India but making his life there, and how me as someone who's also that particular thing made me realize that okay, I need to be here. And I mean, if I have to be honest, uh, this was not easy at all. But then I think I've slowly found the pace, and people have understood okay, there's a reason she's here. It was not an easy move, whereas like the husband being the supportive one who decided to move back with her, and earlier it was me who was there for his work. Now it's him making those changes for me, which is not usually seen in our
and which is
good
society. Yeah, but I think and that shift is a good thing which is happening.
Yeah, so people have seen that there was a reason I came back, and it was not an instant move. It was a tried and tested reason. And now that I'm here, I'm organically posting things. They've seen me, that how I've had a baby, and I've been honest about it, that how it would have been a challenge outside to manage my work, because major part of my work was in India.
And you get a lot of family support in India, that's a given. So
and I don't know how would have I managed traveling so much. Even if my family would have been there to support, they would not just move their base there for us.
And tell me something, Kompal, like give us like some sort of tips. Like suppose, to our young viewers out there, whoever's going to be watching us, what does it take to be an influencer? Like how do you really create your content?
Uh, of course, so this is something that would be person to person, but if I have to give my tip on that, I would say the more you can be more of storytelling, the more authenticity you keep. I know in a lot of areas you tend to do things that you have to. Things do have scripts and there's nothing to lie about when you're working for a brand. But apart from that, when you're actually talking about your own life, I think the more clear and open you are about it, I think it's better and people relate to it
Just
more.
being more authentic.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I feel would maintain you in the long run.
And how long have you been
Doing this for
doing this?
almost 12 years now, but of course, when I started with college 2 years, it was not exactly a full time situation, but it picked up and then it was full time for me after I around before I got married actually. So I would say 2016 I was full time into it. Yeah.
Yes. And as you know, Women Inspiring Network also does their events in New York during Climate
Oh.
Week and UNGA, United Nations General Assembly. And so I would really, of course, we will invite you to New York if you're going to be there, in September. But so, what sort of different trends are you seeing between a content creator out of New York and a content creator out of India? Like, do you think we're very different or are we very similar?
I think more or less it's the same energy if I have to be very like in a broader perspective, but of course with different demographics, the kind of content differs, but more or less it's the same. I believe, yeah. Everybody, maybe one thing on a larger scale that I felt was that people out there tend to talk more about their life, like day to day life. If they like the first thing they're doing in the morning, making coffee, breakfast, the real things, okay, running to drop their kids to the school or maybe going for groceries, something like that. Not something on a larger level, it's just the way the lifestyle is outside. You like just how people here make content out of their life, and the same goes out there in whatever is in their daily lives. And both the countries are different in terms of running their day to day. So that's the only thing I feel is the difference. Otherwise,
And
it's
you
more
have
or
a
less the
small
same.
okay, and you have a small baby as a so how easy or difficult it is to manage both personal and professional aspect with so many different things you have to do.
She's almost 4 months now. If I have to really see during the last 4 months, I would say it's been fine. It's not hard, like I mentioned. The support system is really strong here, and I think that's what matters when you're able to trust your child with someone, and then you have that straight, free mind, and you can be out and be yourself. And the work is not real. Of course, like the little things are, I would not say hampered, but you need to adjust your sleep and your routine. That's the little things you need to kind of follow, and eventually you find a balance when once the child grows. But again, with the support we have here, it's a blessing, and I can really vouch for that now that I've seen a life there and a life here. So whenever I am into a hard situation here, I always try to think, what if I would have been there? How would have I managed? And then I'm like, no, I can manage it here. So I think that's something that puts me in that spot of being thankful 100 times in a day.
Yeah, yeah, I hear you. I hear you. And tell me, like, how important is ethics in the content creating business, like as an influencer? Do you think many people are very ethical, or are there any boundaries? If you can sort of elaborate on that.
Of course, this is also very personal, but yeah, I try to stick to my ethics, especially when it's about being pretty much honest to a brand, about deadlines, about what I want to stick to while shooting, and I think brands love that bit about me. I mean, when it's about deadlines and managing timelines, I'm mostly like 9 out of 10 times I'm right there. But of course, during my pregnancy and during birth, now that I have to manage so many more things alongside, I've been a little delayed with work. But again, I feel I'm way better than other people what I hear. So yeah, ethics are something that I feel that I can vouch for because it returns give you great returns in the future. It's not just about our business, but in every business one should be pretty much fair about what you're agreeing to, what you're signing into, what you're stepping into, because time is money and time is everything, I guess.
Yeah. And any particular campaign which comes to your mind which you've enjoyed doing in the recent past? Any particular category in
uh,
terms of your work?
I would say I've done a lot of things before, but doing the mother-child content has been new for me. So maybe I would say that. That's not something I imagined in the near future, to be very honest, but it just came on my way and I'm enjoying it. Especially like I did a campaign for a pharmaceutical brand and it was so informative and it was right before my birth and it was about a vaccination and the kind of knowledge I could gain out of it. I was like, wow, I would have not thought that ways. And it was a new category for me, not just talking about diapers or baby lotions, but something more broader and more global where people can actually understand the value of why these vaccinations are important and how people tend to overlook it because of the cost or just by ignoring it and finding another alternative. But that's something I enjoyed working for in the past few months.
Nice, nice. And so, since we're an inspirational storytelling platform, and we also have Women's Day coming up, so I want you to also give us an inspiring message for our viewers out there.
I would say patience is the key because that's what worked in my case. Of course, everybody would tell you to be authentic, to be regular, be passionate about your work, but I just feel patience is something that's not everyone's cup of tea, and for me that's the only thing that worked and also works. Sometimes I'm impatient that why is success not coming to me soon, why is it quicker for someone else, because what's the case that's the case that has been for a lot of people now, with how content goes viral and how easily, like you'd see someone boom the next day versus someone who's been into it for the last 10 years and waiting to be viral. But then I realized I don't want to be viral, but I want to be relevant. And the long run game is what matters, and patience is what matters. So, and overnight success is not sustainable, I feel.
Yeah,
That's all.
yeah. But on that note, thank you so much for joining us today, and I
Thank
look
you.
forward to seeing you on 2nd March because we're going to have a roundtable of women leaders from different aspects of life right in your neighborhood. So look forward to seeing you, and
Yeah.
thank you so much for joining
Thank
us.
you for having